Well, and that goes to what I just said a minute ago of how do you go about handling this moment of your son
You get
do,
counseling. You
doing
get counseling
doing
for,
this and driving home? Like that is something I can't get past. Like, and then
well,
oh, by
also
the way,
like,
mom, Charlie's dead body's in the back seat. Like what? Hello, movie maniacs. Welcome to another fun-filled, wonderful, exciting, name whatever you want in there episode of the Scary Movie Project, the podcast where we talk about scary movies and where we all hail Paimon. All of us, of course. How would you guys feel if I told you about a grieving family that was haunted by tragic and disturbing occurrences? You would probably say, Matt, tell me more about this family. And I would say, well, I could do that, and I will, but I'm going to talk also. The film we're talking about is 2018's Hereditary, okay, by Ari Aster. Now, that being said, I will tell you about it, but I'm also joined by frequent collaborator and co host, Sara Alpin. Sara, hello, frequent collaborator and co host. How are you?
hello.
Hail Payman.
Hail, Payment. Hello, I'm doing
Hail
well. How
Payman.
are you?
Great, great. So, 2018, Ari Aster. You've heard of him. You know him. You might love him.
Hmm.
You might not. He has made. This is his first film. He made Hereditary, okay, and then he made Midsummer, which you all love. The episode Tara and I did on Midsummer because she loves that movie. Beau is Afraid. Haven't seen it.
Yeah, me
And
neither.
Eddington, something.
Eddington,
I haven't seen that either. Anyway,
me neither.
this is, I mean, hell of a first film, huh? Like, wow. No,
Yeah,
I mean,
like he,
seriously.
it's great, like for so many reasons. I mean, he came out of the gate with a 75-page shot list for
Yeah.
cinematography before they even had locations scouted.
He had like the edit in his head done, like it was all done. The movie was done.
Toni Collette said it was like the most organized,
Yeah.
like she was like, it's like it was pre-shot in the way
Yeah.
that it was directed.
Which is maybe good and bad because that's kind of to me like this person is so wrapped up in it. Are they like is does this going to be your way or the highway? And are you gonna have any creativity involved, or are you just taking orders at that point because it's already basically done in his head? But that being said, I don't think I heard anything bad about the guy. I don't think I've heard anything bad about him. So I think it's fine. But all right, let's do our best to try to explain this film. Okay, let's see
It's
what we
going to
can.
be tough.
Yeah, let's see what we can do here. Okay, so Hereditary is okay. It is a film about a grieving family, right? So Toni Collette, as you said, she's great.
Oh my
It's
God, I
got
love her.
Gabriel Byrne, and it's got two folks. Is it Millie Shapiro? And I don't remember the name of the other kid who plays the
Alex
son.
Wolff.
Okay, there you go. He played Zarnaev in the bombing movie Patriots Day, and
Oh, that's where I saw it.
yeah,
I couldn't place him.
yeah, he's done other stuff too. So anyway, this family, she what is the mother's Annie, right?
Yes.
Her family. The movie film begins with an obituary written on the screen. Woman dies. She's 80 something years old, whatever. Family, blah blah blah. This family lives in Utah. They're in this kind
Hmm.
of secluded, really cool looking, fancy schmancy house. They're not making 50 grand a year living in this house.
No, they're doing
And
real well.
yeah, it's Annie, her husband Steve, Gabriel Byrne, and the two kids, Charlie, the daughter, and the son Peter. Okay, her Annie's mother has passed away, and they're getting ready to go to her funeral. And she gets up there and she gives the eulogy, and she says she's surprised to see a lot of people there because she wasn't expecting this. And she basically says her mother lives a very secretive life, and she doesn't really know a whole lot about it. And there's a weird guy at the funeral looks at the daughter Charlie at the casket and smiles at her, and it's like that's weird at a funeral. And there's just I don't know some stuff is just we realize there's not a great relationship with this family. I love when they get back from the funeral and she says to her husband when they walk in the door, "Should I feel sad? I don't feel sad." Like, and he says to her, "Feel what you want to feel," which is probably an answer I might give someone, but it's kind of like okay. I mean, it's one of those. You're right away. You're in this weird moment of like the problem humans have overall. How do we deal with people dying? Like we don't really.
Yeah.
we never understand. We're never going to figure it out. We never know how the heck to deal with it, how to
Yeah,
talk
grief is
about it.
complicated.
It's like just crazy. So she's not sure what to do, and we kind of realize that this is troubled, and this family also we start to kind of learn early. They don't do they like each other? I don't.
So this was interesting to me. And I think so in part of my research into this,
Mhm.
um, if you ask the actors, they will say that this movie is not a horror movie, that it's about family drama.
So
Because
that
that was like their lived experience there.
yeah
But in that little isolated capsule
yeah
of what you just said, where the husband says, you get to feel how you want to feel, you realize that he is very emotionally aware. He's very he's self-aware
hmm
and he knows how to support her. But you also realize in that she somehow like feels isolated
yeah
from everyone else in this family. She doesn't feel like she's connected,
yeah.
but he is like so warm in that moment and so supportive. And you just get the sense she like there's still a gap. There's still some sort of wall.
There's definitely something happening, right? Or it's not quite. Yeah. So she then decides. Oh, she's a miniature model maker, by the way.
Hmm.
So we should point that out because
Artist.
artist, yes. What is the actual term for this?
Oh
Is it
God.
a miniature art? Yeah, but she makes these little models, and actually that's like the
Of her
first.
life.
And actually, the first scene of the film is a push shot into a house, and then it becomes the scene of the son and the dad coming telling him to get up, we got to go, right? We should also mention that the daughter is sleeping in the treehouse they have outside, which plays
Oh
later.
yeah.
We should point that out.
And it's freezing.
It is, and that's why there's a lot of we're just we're do our best to explain it because I don't want to miss things. But there's a little. I think I mentioned
There's a
this.
lot of nuance.
I mentioned this to Tara when we did the Midsummer episode. He leaves the Aster leaves the breadcrumbs everywhere for you to follow, and you got to follow them, right?
Yes.
So that's
Yeah, but
why
you can't cover all of them in this. Like,
we're not going to go a 3 hour episode here. We're gonna we're gonna get to what we can, and we'll get to as much as we can, right? So then she shows the models. They're kind of doing their grieving thing, whatever. It's weird. Then she says, and she does something that people do, I guess, and she says she makes up a story and tells her husband she's going to the movies. And she
mhm.
goes to a support group. She goes to like the local high school, wherever it is, community center, and goes to a support group. You see the sign, the cheesy sign, family loss or whatever. And that's when she drops the bomb basically and just lets loose on the group. Like, do we have any new members? And she just like unloads. I hated my mother, and my father died from starvation because he had like schizophrenia. And
No, no,
my
no. The brother had schizophrenia.
okay, oh
The
whatever.
dad died from starvation, but I forget why.
He had some sort of mental illness, and the brother killed himself, and like she didn't.
Because this is super important
No,
on my
yes,
second
yes,
watch.
good call. Because she said he thought he heard voices from the mother saying we're going to plant people inside your head or something, right? Isn't that is
Yes,
that
the
it? Is that it?
mother, he blamed
Yes,
her in the suicide note and
yes,
said
that's
that
right.
the mother was trying to put voices inside his or put people inside his head.
That is important. Yep. So
Foreshadowing.
then there you go. Then the family didn't want it. They basically tried to cut her out when the son was born. Then the daughter is born,
They
and that
tried to cut out Ellen, the grandmother.
the grandmother. Yeah, sorry, the Ellen, the grandmother. We'll just call her the grandmother. And so then she comes back in the picture though when the daughter is born, and she breastfeeds the daughter. Like what happened here? That I missed this part? So bizarre. I'm
I don't
lost.
recall that. Did I look down at something?
Yeah, I don't know that. Like she was very into this part, but we'll find out why she's interested in this, obviously. So she drops that bomb, and you're like, all right, so this family's got terrible mental problems and horrible family. Like, okay, is this going to happen to her? Kind of stuff. And so they then there's a phone call from the cemetery and saying your grandmother and Stephen, the father, takes the call, the husband, and he says they tell him the cemetery's been or the grave's been desecrated. Like they basically they didn't say what happened. It was desecrated. Whatever. He doesn't tell Annie, but he just kind of whatever. Okay, so life goes on, sort of thing, and they're kind of dealing with whatever. They're finding things out. You always find things out of people after they die. Then
Oh yeah.
the son Peter. All right, there's a couple scenes. Okay, here's one thing I had a question about. The daughter's weird. she makes these models in her house too, and she like goes out in the yard and does strange things. There's a scene at the school where a bird flies into a window. Now,
Yes.
I actually had birds fly into my windows outside my house before. It's weird. I guess the bird dies, and then the daughter Charlie takes the bird and gets a pair of scissors and cuts the freaking bird's head off. Right? Like, okay, she's like a 10-year-old kid. I mean, I don't know what that means. Whatever. It's weird. And then there's another scene.
She's older than
How
10.
how old is she supposed to be? 12 or 13, maybe? Is that right then?
She's
Okay.
gotta be. I mean, if you look at her physical development, she's gotta be,
Okay.
I
So
think she's
she's
like ninth
13.
grade
All right.
because I think she's in the same school as her brother. So
They're
my
both in high
assumption
school?
would
Okay.
be,
So she's not 10. All
yeah.
right. All right.
But
So
you think she is based on her behavior.
for sure. For sure.
Like the clicking, the weird mouth clicking.
So um she cuts the head off the bird. And there's another
Hmm.
scene that I find very strange. And I didn't go down the rabbit hole on it. Maybe you have part of it for your stuff later. Okay, the girl that he has a crush on, right? In
Hmm.
class. They're sitting there talking about poetry or whatever it is, or Greek mythology or something.
Where the subject gets decapitated. Go ahead.
Yep. And the girl, I forget her name, but
I don't remember either.
the girl's got a crush on. And she just, at one point, turns back to look at him and just stares at him for like a solid 3 seconds and turns back around. What? I need to know what the purpose of that was. Because now it sets up for where we're about to go. Stay with me here for a second. But then we, later on, he's telling his mom, hey, I'm going to this party. And she's like, okay, any high school, start drinking. No, mom, we're not drinking. Da, da, da. Why don't you take your sister to the party? Okay. So, oh, God, huge thing we forgot to mention too.
I was just gonna say
We're
we
gonna be going
forgot
backwards
about
a lot of this. So at the funeral, Charlie, the daughter, is eating a chocolate bar, and both the parents are like, "Oh my God, are there nuts in there?" Clearly,
separately.
she's got a peanut allergy. Okay, so they have to be careful of this. Obviously, she may not.
And they didn't have the EpiPen.
So yeah, they had to be careful. Anyway, they decide he want to take your sister to the party. Like, it's a weird parental request. I,
But that happens all the time. Like my parents
I
used to do that.
okay, fair enough.
Did your parents not do that with your sister?
No,
Who's the
neither
older child?
neither one of them they ever said take them to a party. That never happened.
It
Anyway,
wouldn't be to a
I think it's
party.
weird. I think it's weird. If I were to
I
take
think
my
it's,
sisters to a party, I would tell them one of them, let's go to the party. Like,
yeah.
anyway, whatever. It doesn't matter. That's not the point of it. The point is it ends up being the worst decision ever made. But
Yeah.
so they go to the party, right? Big fancy house, right? Like, by the way, can I go to that house, to that party? That's a pretty nice house,
Yeah.
right?
Who owns the like
Rich people.
what is this area? Like,
Well, well, they shot it in Salt Lake City area.
yeah, they
So
did. And I know that they're most of it is like set design, but it's still like these are like,
it's
I
nice.
mean,
It's nice.
yeah.
I went to a party like that once in high school, and it was over they had a garage and it had like a glass floor. It looked down to like the parents' like Lamborghini or something below it. It was unbelievable. Anyway, so they go to the party, and I love how one of the first scenes is someone chopping nuts on a table. Okay, like wow, foreshadowing again. And Peter's got a bunch of pot, and he sees the girl, the girl
Hmm.
from his school, and like, hey, you want to go smoke? And he's weird. He's so bad. He walks up to her and he's like, so, how's the party? And she's like, I don't know, whatever. It's so lame, but you feel for her because you feel for like every teenage boy. Like, yeah, I probably did that too. I probably made an ass of myself trying to ask some girl out at a party. And they go get smoke, and he's like, Charlie, stay here. Gonna go do this. I mean, it's just so weird. Like, why would you bring that girl to that party? It doesn't make any sense. So
I know exactly
I,
why.
I know I'm stuck on this like thing, but I'm just
It's because the mom doesn't understand normal social
no, she
interactions
doesn't. No, she
as we
doesn't.
learn. But
She
what
doesn't.
she's trying to do is like because we don't know what's going on with Charlie at this point, we think she's got some sort of condition. Like
Yeah,
she's got some sort of neurospice. And so her mom is trying to push her to socialize because
sure.
she spends her time
But that's
outside.
not the way to do that. You don't
Yeah.
send your 13-year-old daughter up to your teenage boys' party where, I mean, come on, seriously, are you stupid? You don't think something's going to be going on there? That girl should not be around? Give me a break.
Yeah, I mean, even if
Give
like
me a break.
yeah,
I am not sending my fictitious 13-year-old daughter to some random party with my 16-year-old son. No freaking way. That's not
I
happening.
mean, my parents
I'm not an
definitely
idiot.
made
I'm not an
my
idiot.
parents made some mistakes with mistrust in certain situations.
Not happening.
But my parents would have done that if it was like my brother was going to the movies or something.
There
Then
you
they would
go.
be like,
Movies.
but
Yeah,
that's like a controlled
movies. You're
situation
going
to
to
a
maybe you're going
degree.
to a baseball game. Yes, not to some party, dude. Seriously, like the old phrase. I may have been born at night, but I wasn't born last night. Like seriously, okay. I went to a lot of parties in high school, and they were not appropriate for anyone, quite frankly. Not a 13-year-old girl, especially. Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, for
so
just so many reasons.
they're not
But
appropriate for a 45-year-old man at this point, quite frankly. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's continue. So he goes to get stoned with her. They're taking bong hits. I like thinking of it was a Cypress Hill song, "Hits from the Bong," which would have been great if they had played that.
in
But
like a bedroom.
that's where you would go to do it. Yep, sing that song, puff all night long, take hits from the bong. So she goes and gets a piece of chocolate and the cake, and you're like, audience knows. Oh my god! And she comes back in and says, "I don't feel good. I'm something wrong." He's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong?" And the next thing you know, they're in the car. Oh, by the way, we should mention again, of course, on the drive out there. Notice how they made a point to zoom in on a telephone pole and show you that
Yeah.
design. There was a design on a
Hmm.
telephone pole. Okay. So next scene, they're in the car. They're rushing off to the ER. She's having a total.
She
What do you?
can't breathe.
Yeah. What?
Anaphylactic shock.
There you go. And she's in bad shape and she's in trouble. And he's going 70 to the show the speedometer, 75, 80. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. Deer shows up in the road and he's got to swerve. You don't know what's going to happen here, but she puts her head out the window and you see a telephone pole and you hear an impact and that's the car stops and you're like, oh my God. So then that happens. And he is,
Can we also flag here?
yeah,
She's sitting in the back seat for both of these car rides. And I want to remind you,
I
she's
don't
not
find that
10.
I don't find that so bizarre. I don't
I
really
do. She's got to be 13 if she's in ninth grade, like minimum, or she's
maybe
14,
maybe
15.
she likes the idea of a chauffeur environment and wants to sit in the back
I
seat.
mean, we just need to flag that it's another
Okay,
way
we
that
can do
they're
that.
sort of,
Flag
I
it.
think they do a lot of like Ari Aster does a lot of trying to make her seem young to kind of like bury the lead,
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
which I think is also why you can see physically that she's developed.
Okay.
Like it looks, I mean, in that sweatshirt, it's done intentionally. Like that's definitely done intentionally, I think.
Oh, so that happens, and he's stoned, and he doesn't really know what to do, and he doesn't even get out of the car. He doesn't get out
Nope.
and check.
He doesn't look.
He doesn't look. He doesn't look. He just turns the car back into drive and goes home.
He lets
And
his foot creep off the brake,
yeah,
creep on the gas,
goes home and parks the car in the
parks.
driveway, goes in the house, goes to bed. And then it shows him like closing his eyes and waking up like in the morning, and then you hear like the unholy, like screams of coming from Annie from the mother. She finds the girl's decapitated body in the car. Now, at that point, if I'm your parent, um, I don't really know. I don't want to get into
I don't
things
know how you handle that.
on it. Well, I think you handle it by I'm not sure you're my child anymore, kind of thing. I don't really know what
But
you
it
do at
is
that
still your
point.
child. And, parents have an incredible capacity. Neither of us are parents,
Nope.
to be clear here. But parents do have an incredible capacity to forgive. It is like wired in your DNA.
Well,
But
let's
there
let's also
is,
realize we don't know. Neither one of them really. No one knows the story right yet. Now we don't know what happened.
yes,
But the fact is, my daughter's decapitated body is in the backseat of the
that's
car you drove that you failed
and
to inform me of.
left
You failed to
and
inform me of
left
this.
there.
That's a little bit of a problem. Anyway, again,
There's a lot in that.
we're not gonna do that. Okay, but we'll just follow the synopsis here. So that life over moment. I mean, basically, right? So And make a note she's kneeling over at the time of this, which is kind of maybe important later. But then it's
Oh yeah, with
then
her
it's
head like on the floor shrieking.
then it's the funeral, of course, and she can barely keep herself together. And then things just kind of go downhill, and
Fast.
she goes to one of these meetings, or she's in a parking lot, and she's going to go to one of these grief meetings again, but she can't do it. But this woman runs up to her, and
Joan.
well, yeah, well, we'll get to that. What her name is. She got introduced herself, Joan, and she's, I haven't seen you, blah, blah, blah. Well, I came because my mother, but my daughter died. Oh, my God, my son died, this and that. And they end up meeting up, and Annie goes to this woman's house. And she goes over to her apartment and sees a little welcome mat. And she's like, that looks just like something my mom used to make. Right? Oh, isn't that funny? She tells her. Okay. So they sit down and they talk, and she kind of lays into these weird thoughts she has and ideas she thinks. And they kind of talk and they explain whatever. And then we get to a point later where, and I may be glossing over things. Help me out here. I haven't watched the movie in a minute. But then she's making her minute. She starts the miniature she starts reenacting like the accident.
Oh
She
my
makes the
God, she makes
miniature of the car, and not to mention
we missed a point.
we forgot a very important point of when they're grieving. They're laying there in the bedroom sobbing, and then it just cuts to Charlie's severed head laying on the side of the road being eaten by bugs. Folks,
Ants.
you are not
Yeah.
going to forget this one, okay?
Nope.
And it's a good like what 4 second just static shot, and you're just like, oh,
Just cars driving by like 30, 40 feet
oh my
away.
God, it's just sitting there, and you're just like, holy crap. It's amazing.
This whole movie, the first time through, my experience was so different. But the
For
whole
me
movie,
too.
the first
Yeah,
time I was like,
yeah.
what is happening?
Yes.
Like,
What is happening? What is going on? And then then she's making like reenacting the miniatures.
yeah,
Then we
she
got
makes a miniature of the moment of death.
like her of her daughter's head. And then
Yeah.
the husband's like, "What are you doing? Like, don't show this to anyone else."
How do you think Peter's
Oh,
gonna
I'm just
feel?
trying to, whatever, be objective about it. Then of course
It's
they have.
for her show.
I know.
Like
It's
it's going to
crazy.
be on public
Yeah,
display in New
yeah,
York at
yeah.
this art gallery.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Then we move to the dinner scene, which of course, that doesn't go well. Obviously, the mother and the son are not things. The dad Steve is trying to be this mediator, and I don't know if it's
He's
going.
definitely the peacekeeper.
Well, he's trying to be, and
Yeah.
she blows up at him. Your sister is dead, and I'm really sorry about that. And that face on your face, she tells him, and he's like, "What are you talking about?" And like,
And she's like, if we could acknowledge anything that
yeah.
we fucking do in this family and take accountability in this fucking family,
Well, and that goes to what I just said a minute ago of how do you go about handling this moment of your son
you
do,
get counseling. You
doing
get counseling
doing
for,
this and driving home, like that is something I can't get past. Like, and then
well,
oh, by
also
the way,
like,
mom, Charlie's dead body's in the back seat. Like what? So it's just like for her to her anger and just beyond. How do you work through that? How do you do that? Like his behavior is beyond like understanding. So anyway, that dinner doesn't go well, of course, and then she goes back and one day she's out at the store.
oh,
At
wait,
the,
hold on.
yeah,
She starts sleeping in the treehouse.
she does sleep in the treehouse one night or a couple nights, I guess, right?
Yeah, almost every night.
'Cause she gets up and goes.
She
And he goes,
can't
"Where are you
sleep.
going?" "Oh, I'm gonna do blah blah." And he goes, "You're going to sleep in the treehouse, aren't you?" She's like, "Yeah, I need to go." Like she's very dishonest with him too. She doesn't
She
tell him where
lies
she's.
and he doesn't question it.
She doesn't
Like
tell him where she's going ever. She lies about where she's going all the time to him. Yes.
if my husband went to the movies, don't you think I'd be like, "Oh, what movie are you going to see? That's fun." Like
Right.
that would literally be what came out of my mouth. And then afterward I would be like, "How was it? Was it good? Is it something
Yeah.
I should see like next time
Right.
we're on an airplane when we're watching separate movies?"
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's normal.
Yes. Yes. Very normal. Yeah. What their family? Not normal. Not
Not
normal.
normal.
So she is at the, Michael's craft, whatever store. I don't know. They're living out in the mountain. Beautiful out there, by the way. I love that. I love where they live.
Oh, wait.
Yes. Wait, we
Hold
forgot
on. I
more.
think we
We did.
did. It's the
What did we forget?
paint thinner story. that she tells
Oh,
Joan the first time she meets her.
about how they were going to light each other on fire. And she's having a dream saying to him, I tried to
No,
have a
she was
miscarriage with you.
sleepwalking.
Okay.
It's before that. So she tells Joan, no one trusts me and my family anymore. No one trusts anything I do. They question everything I do, da da da
Mhm.
da, which is ironic based on what we just said, which is why I
Right.
thought of it.
Right.
And it's that she apparently was sleepwalking. And when they lived in their old house, they had the two kids in the same room. Charlie and Peter were in the same room. She doused them in paint thinner and then she doused herself.
Yeah.
And then she lit a match and she flicked it and she woke up with it lit in her hand and put it
Hmm.
out right away. But Peter woke up before that. So I
Man.
don't know why you keep inviting me to watch sleepwalking movies. I just wanted to point that out
It's
to you.
well, and you know what? At the end of this film, we'll mention something else that keeps happening in these movies that we hate. Also, I I do not do this on purpose. I promise you that. I promise you I don't. So our next film that Sarah and I will do will be the film called Sleepwalkers. Obviously, we're gonna have
Oh my
to.
God.
So yeah, that is important. And that's the part too where she's telling him, right, like I tried to have a miscarriage and it didn't work, and I really do want you to be my son. You're like, wait, what is this? Is insane, right?
Yeah,
So
and he's like, "You tried to kill me," and
you
she's
tried to
like,
kill
"I
me? What?
tried to
Oh
do
my
everything I
god!
could to like
Yeah,
have a natural abortion, natural quote unquote abortion or
right.
whatever." Like, I don't know that that's the word she used, but it was like
Uh,
not going to the doctor. It was like
yeah,
drinking, smoking, like blah blah whatever else she did.
yes,
I assume it was all the things on the list, not like the, hanger situation, not to be too
ooh,
graphic.
yeah. We're not gonna go there. So,
But you know
uh,
what I mean? Like the way
yes,
she's
I know,
owning it felt like,
I know.
I was drinking, I was smoking, I was eating
Yeah,
like feta cheese.
yeah.
I might have just played that down a little bit too much. I
Everything
didn't
to
mean to
possibly
minimize.
destroy your life. Yes.
Yeah.
So she goes into the art store and she's coming out of the art store and she sees Joan again. Joan is being like weirdly excited and like weird. Oh, isn't that grabbing her? And you're like, what is going on with this woman right now?
It's creepy. Okay,
Yeah.
I have to tell you, it reminded me of the personality shift in Lucy Liu in Presence, our episode that we just recorded
Yeah.
recently,
Yeah.
where we were like, this is so uncomfortably familiar. It
Mhm.
was like like so much touching, like so much like
She
grabbing
was
arms and
like
like
grabbing her.
groping.
Yeah.
It was so uncomfortable to watch. It like honestly, the first time I watched it, I was like, this woman is like, she's into this woman.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
a
intense.
lot of touch, a
And
lot.
she's telling her, I come to my house. I have this amazing thing that whatever.
I
Right?
have to show you.
Yeah, I gotta show you. And she brings her over, and
Meanwhile, the chalkboard is in the trunk.
yes, I have noticed that. So they go and have themselves a séance, right? And they're sitting there in the middle of the day, or I think it's the daytime, and she's saying how she
It
can
is, yeah.
communicate with her son. And she has a chalkboard out there, and they have a candle lit, and things start moving, and Annie's like, "Oh my God, what are you
Oh,
doing?" Of
it's her
course,
grandson.
grandson,
Sorry,
grandson,
I just remember her
grandson.
son and her grandson drown, and that's how they died,
There
allegedly.
you go. Annie's like looking under the table, like, "Are you, yanking my leg here? Like, what are you doing?" And she gets the chalkboard, and the chalk starts writing like "Hi, Grandma," I think, or something like that. So,
Yeah,
like,
grandma.
it like it's happening, and it's crazy. And she realizes now, okay, she can communicate. So then, I guess she gets up in like the middle of the night and brings the family. Annie brings Steve
Oh,
and
wait,
Peter
hold on. We have to
downstairs.
clarify a couple things. She says, you can try this at home.
Yeah,
Here's how to do it. All of your family members have to be in the house at the
right,
time.
right. So she brings them down, starts explaining how they're going to do this, and
Just
Peter's
trust me.
like
Just trust
scared.
me.
He
I
says it like a
swear I'm
thousand
awake.
times. Peter's like scared. The dad's he's really starting to run out of patience at this point because he gets that
Yeah.
the an awful tragedy's happened, but like this is really getting crazy. I need
But
your
like
guys'
you got to keep it
energy.
together a little.
I need
Like
your
for the
energy.
sake.
Right, you would think so. Put your hands on this glass. We're talking. We're going to channel Charlie. I've been reading her notebook, this and that, and he like Peter's like you hear like you feel the air move, and then the glass like shifts, and the fire jumps out, and she
And
starts
she
like
says words that are a combination
she
of Hebrew
starts
and something else.
talking in her voice, in Charlie's voice,
Oh
and
God, yeah.
the dad just gets a glass of water and throws it on her like an old, parlor trick, and is like, "Enough! Like, stop! This is insane." And she comes to it. She goes, "What happened?" She doesn't even know what the f is going on at this point. So it's just like we're going downward spiral more and more and more and more. And she realizes all this stuff. She takes Charlie's book. Now she's realized she's opened a door and she's brought the spirit in. The spirit is malevolent and we don't know what's happening. She takes Charlie's book and throws it to burn it in the fireplace. And as soon as she drops in the fireplace, her arm catches on fire.
In
As soon
like the
as
same place.
as soon
And
as the
she's
book
wearing the
starts to
same
burn,
color as the
she starts
book.
to burn. Yeah, she starts to burn. You're like, oh, dude. She pulls it back out and puts it out, and it's like, okay, I can't do this. This isn't going to work, right? So then weird stuff starts to happen with Peter at school, right? He starts to see. I think does he see Joan from across the street saying like tells her get
Yes,
out,
she's saying get out.
get
She's screaming at
out,
him.
like, and
He
it's just
also has
so.
like these weird like diamond light
So he sees
halo
these lights that
situations that are
flash
like
by him, right? Yeah, which is really cool. That was really cool the way they did that.
that was really
And
cool. But
he's
I
like,
would think I had schizophrenia.
"Oh,
Like that would be for
I
sure.
would know something is probably wrong." And
See, that's the crazy thing about this movie is that all of these things you could actually explain to yourself with mental health conditions. I
mhm,
mean, I don't know that I'm characterizing that correctly because I might be downplaying schizophrenia there, but you could, say that he is schizophrenic and like dismiss a little bit
yeah,
or put him in treatment for that. And, you can see how this may have happened with the brother, with Annie, Toni Collette's brother.
yeah.
Like
Well,
you could so
but
easily
look,
dismiss it.
it's the same thing with The Exorcist, right? They keep doing all these goddamn medical tests. There's nothing medically wrong
But
with that
they're
girl.
actually getting medical tests
Yeah,
done, whereas
nothing
this
wrong with her
family is
either,
just
right?
like,
But the point is,
dad goes to couch.
neither one of these people has a medical condition in this film. They didn't. They were.
No,
It was completely otherworldly. So anyway, he breaks his nose on his desk, and
spoiler.
he sees a reflection of himself with that funny face, and that's when you're like, is this the face he's really giving to like the mom she's mentioning at dinner, and the whole time we don't know about? And that's what I thought. But
Oh God, I didn't even think about that. It's like
right,
the face in if you have seen
it's
the
like a
movie
bad
Smile,
grin.
which
Yeah,
I had to turn that movie off,
I did too.
actually. Um, it might be worth a watch. Yeah, but it triggered the bejesus out of me. I could not watch it.
Yeah, it's like
Um, Yeah, it was very that. So if you've seen the movie Smile, picture that's on Peter's face in the reflection.
right. Then he freaks out. And he like breaks his nose, and the dad comes to pick him up, and he's sedated, and they bring him in the house, and they put him to sleep. Well, they put him in bed. He passes out, and that's when by the way, Annie's been up in the attic, and oh hey, her dead mother's body minus a head happens to be up there with some cryptic writing of the same symbols that are now. While she's been looking around there, she's also gone looking for Joan a little earlier. And Joan wasn't home, but there's a great camera shot from inside Joan's apartment that faces the door of her banging on the door and zooms out to show her table in a ritualistic with all kinds of drawings and candles and pictures of
And
Peter
they're all
and
lit.
yeah, and it's something bad's going on, and she starts to dig through
Oh,
her.
and wait, she's in Waterman's boots, which I feel like you at least are familiar with Chesapeake Bay life.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and she's in her pajama bottoms with like a t-shirt and like a cardigan over the top. So like this woman who was put together, who's like an artist who shows in New York is going through that's like your signal that she's really hitting the bottom of her
She's done.
downward spiral.
She's done. Yeah. So she can barely get herself together, which I mean, it's terrible.
Oh, and she smashes the miniatures before she
She
goes.
destroys all the miniatures, and he asks what's going on. She's like, "I'm done." And like, okay. So she starts digging through the attic and finds all her mom's books. And that's when, if you didn't know by now,
Oh, the photo
the
albums.
light bulb is going to go off at this point for you. For me, it was kind of earlier. Um, but anyway, so she looks in there and all these photos. of her mother and like dressed in these ritual and gold coins and her followers and all this stuff.
She's in like a white
Robe.
veiled dress.
Yeah.
I have questions about this
It's some
later.
cult stuff. But
Yeah, but I have
guess
questions.
who's in every photo? Joan.
Joan.
And you realize, okay, cult. And Joan is now basically was her lieutenant and is now running the show. And it's like, oh my God. And look on her face, Toni Collette has that look of like the ugly cry is like so good with her. It's perfect. And you
She's
know,
so good at that.
she knows what's going on now. She's going crazy, but she also knows what's going on. And she just starts rambling to Steve about how I found this spell here and now this picture here. And he's like, uh, you know,
He's like,
okay.
I'm done. I've been sleeping on the couch.
He
I
does. And he's
tried.
taking like sleeping pills too at this point. And
Oh,
so
and he's
then,
drinking all day.
yeah. And so then maybe he's writing an email to someone else saying, I think my wife is nuts. And she
Hmm.
tells him, my mother's, go look in the attic. He goes up there and he comes back and he's like, oh my God, what the hell is, why didn't you call the police?
And they're the ants coming in the
Yeah.
windowsill.
Yeah. And they go downstairs finally and she tells him, look, I love you. I love you. I love you. I need you to burn this book. I need you to, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
It's gonna light me on
She's
fire.
just like spinning out of control. And he takes it and he takes a few steps and he says, that's it. We're done. I'm calling the police. And he's really going to end his marriage because he's going to call the police
Wait,
on her.
but also like, why didn't we call the police when
Well,
decapitated body was in car?
we don't know. That was a while ago. But this clearly has now gone over the edge. So,
I just feel like maybe they're not a police family.
I mean,
And
I could maybe rationalize the first time, no, but the second time, definitely not. So he says, yeah, that's it. We're done. And she ends up saying the hell with it. And she throws the book in the fire. She
no,
doesn't,
oh no, she
she
does. You're
does.
right.
She doesn't light on fire. He bursts into flames. And
Complete full
she
body.
looks and she's making the face again like of terror. And then all of a sudden, that wave of light hits her, and it's just like a look of just like, I don't really care what's going on.
Dissociative.
There you
Yeah.
go. So he's dead. Okay. Peter wakes up in the evening. It's nighttime. I don't know what time it is. Walks around looking for everybody, and that's when these bizarre mise en scene, right, where it's using the whole frame, and he's in part of the frame, and then over his shoulder somewhere is one of the followers, the cult, naked in a closet in one
Hmm.
scene.
The man,
Then, yeah,
the smiling man.
then there's a great rack focus scene from above, right from down below, where it's looking up, and it's Peter, and they cut the focus to the wall behind, and it's freaking Annie climbing on the goddamn ceiling, like in Dracula or something.
Hmm. And
And
the piano is broken in the corner, by the
yep.
way.
So then there's a scene where he goes back, and she just kind of jumps out at you out of the corner of the room, starts chasing him, and it reminded me of Pet Cemetery with the Zelda, the daughter that chased her. You never got to bed again. Could chase her through the bedroom, and I was like, oh Lord. And she starts chasing him through the house, and he runs up to the attic and he pulls the attic door, and that's that one scene where the camera shot is looking ahead at the door. She's upside down, hanging on the attic door, inhumanly slamming the door, trying to open it. Like
And he
it's
had put like something through, like the pole that you used to pull it down, he had put through. It's one of those attic doors where the ladder folds out,
you
like
drop from the
Clark
inside.
Griswold gets stuck
Yes,
in and
and he's watching the movies and his feet fall through it. Yeah, and he dresses up in all his grandmother's clothes. Yeah, so a great scene, great movie. That is hilarious. So that what the grandmother says she's cold. She walks by and she opens it, and that's when he falls through. Right? Yeah. Um. Oh God, that's a great
He's like
movie.
crying
Yeah.
watching the family movie.
Oh, like 16 millimeter. He has the projector and everything. He's wearing all the clothes. Oh my God, what a great movie.
Oh,
So
it's such a
anyway,
good movie.
wow, sidetrack. So she's no longer human, essentially. And he goes up there and he sees the body and the marking. So now we're seeing all these symbols and these runes and right?
Oh, and the cult people are naked
They're
in the
naked. They're there.
dark,
They're
shadowy
naked.
area.
And he's like, and so that's when we see the scene where I don't know how even to explain it. It's a scene of Annie, and she's levitated at this point, and she is sawing off her own head with a piano wire. She is literally ripping through her neck like one by one till she cuts her own head off. And Peter,
Over top of him, like
yeah,
literally, like he knows this. I mean,
yeah,
we know it because of the freaking audio of this moment. I mean, the audio of literally this entire movie is like it's something. It
It's
is
just
something.
yeah, it's very there's scenes, sounds of like before they come home, like you can hear people walking around in like the house, like or footsteps and things, and yeah, very interesting score to it.
But
So
he knows it because the blood starts dripping on him slightly, and
yeah,
she's aggressively sawing her head off.
yeah, like
This audio for me, I don't need to ever watch this movie
did you ever
again now that
see?
I've watched it twice because of this audio.
Did you ever see? You ever seen Audition, the Japanese horror
No.
film? Okay, same similar piano wire. Anyway, so she's doing that, and he pulls the Sally Hardesty from Texas Chainsaw Massacre and says, "I'm out of here." And just goes through the window. I don't care if
Yeah.
I'm on the third floor, fifth floor. I don't care. I'm out. I'm gone. Out the
Your
window.
chances are better
Yep. I mean, fight or flight. So he lands. Now, this is the one thing I don't know.
on his back.
Does he actually die or not?
Yes.
Okay. So then,
I mean,
like,
I didn't read that. That's my interpretation. He dies because when he
okay.
stands up, he is
All right.
different.
All right.
We'll get there.
So the spirit enters him. You can see the light and the spirit enter him. We assume Paimon at this point because we've also learned that Paimon is a one of the Satan's minions and Satan's demons, I guess, and that's what this whole thing. We'll get to that in a second, but we learned that was in the book she was reading too. The Paimon needs to inhabit a male form, so we're learning those things. So he gets up and he sees Annie's body levitate up to the treehouse. He follows over there. There's a dead animal. That's all we're gonna say. Also, we the camera pans by, and we're just gonna leave it at that. Like I said, you
Yeah,
and
I was
for
far
some
enough
reason,
away that I could get,
for some
I
reason,
was
you and I always, I don't know why, have to deal with a dead dog in movies. I'm getting tired of that too.
sleepwalking and dead
I
dogs.
don't get it. Anyway, so he climbs up the treehouse, and that's when it's like, okay, here we go. And there's a big mannequin with Charlie's severed head wearing a crown and a bunch of
Doing the
cult,
upside down Jesus
yeah,
hand
cult members all kneeling and bowing. Annie and Ellen, dead bodies with no heads, kneeling
in the
down.
front.
And then you hear, what's her name? I already forgot her name. Joan, her voice, says to him, "Don't worry, Charlie. Everything's fine. This and that, whatever. Everything's fine now." And they put the crown on his head, and it's like, "Hail Satan" from the end of Rosemary's Baby, and it's "Hail Paimon." And this shot
Yeah,
is this wide out shot of the interior of the. Oh, and the music, like the bells and the trumpets, and like this symphony of like religious. I mean, it's bizarre and it's
I
wonderful.
know why that
It's amazing.
happens.
And the movie ends, and if you weren't sitting there going, scratching your head or your butt or something, figuring it out, good for you, because that's the end of the film, and I'm not sure what happened. So, look, essentially, break it down, right? Is this woman Ellen was uh, a cult was an occultist, and
She was the cult leader,
she
apparently.
set in motion her entire family for this to happen. She needed to worship this demon Paimon, who need to inhabit a male body. She's been doing this for decades,
Which
decades.
is why she pushed Annie so hard to have children and then pushed Annie
She
away
tried
because
to
of
use her
her.
brother for it or whatever. To obviously he killed
I
himself,
suspect the dad too.
right? Yep, that didn't work. So then they used the daughter. Charlie wasn't going to work. So then finally it inhabits Peter, and now they've got their riches and their wealth or whatever will come from this.
That's all they wanted, knowledge and
Now,
wealth.
which is
That's
what,
it.
and which is Paimon care. He's the most loyal to Satan. He has
He is.
vast knowledge, wealth. He carries around a bag of like three severed heads with him. So that's it.
He
That
always enters with trumpets
yeah.
and
There you go.
cymbals.
So I don't know what else I can ramble on and on about this. I think I've gone I feel like I've gone as long as I can. You feel free to please jump in at this point and take over the narrative here and tell us
I guess I
about
have a question.
yeah
So, we see all these pictures of Ellen, the grandmother,
yeah yeah
who was the cult leader.
yeah
We see all these pictures of her like in this white dress with this
yeah
white veil, and she's in this chair, and a lot of it, I'm gonna venture to guess a lot of this has to do with, based on my experience photographing weddings, there are a lot of like indicators that are like related to Jewish weddings. Like there's a
Okay.
lot of stuff that happens in this movie that are like
Interesting.
has like parallels, and some of the language is in Hebrew. So I did not look into this, but I would
Hmm.
venture to guess that there is at least a familiarity for Ari Aster with the Jewish religion, and
Okay.
that impacted a bit of the writing of this, which is fascinating in its own way. Just the fact that like his lived experience potentially could have impacted this. So just like a cool little
Yeah.
like
Well,
window. But my question is, did you not think that Ellen was supposed to be Payman's bride? And why isn't she like resurrected? She's in this white dress in death that like
uh,
is kneeling. I
she
I
never
guess
got to her fulfillment of this never happened because she died. So it's
yeah,
like
but don't you I guess he has the power to resurrect.
you would think so. You would
So
think
like
so. I
how
don't
did
know.
I
Well,
guess
maybe we
that
do because my question as well is what happens now? Now, what happens now? Like,
yeah,
do
how
they
do you justify this?
do
I that
they
was the
now live
next
in
rabbit hole I went
reality?
down.
Do they live in reality? Is Peter still a human form? Is that still a thing? Is he dead?
Does
Are
he
we?
like drop out of school?
That's what.
Like,
Yeah, I can't go to school anymore. I'm a demon. Hello. Yeah,
or
like
you go to school because Charlie, who, by the way, has a boy's name as a girl, I know it's a nickname for Charlotte, but it's, I think, done with intention. Um,
Firestarter. Have you read or seen the Firestarter? Stephen King's Firestarter. Charlie,
no.
Drew Barrymore's character, Charlie. That's her name.
Oh.
Yeah, my niece. Yeah, Charlotte. But anyway,
It's a very common
yeah,
nickname for,
yeah.
but I think it's done with intention. I think they chose a
Well,
name.
remember, she finds a pillow that her mom made. It says Charles. Remember that?
Oh, yes. The
Yeah.
it's not the pillow, it's the
Or welcome
doormat.
mat or something. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, that you see
I
at Joni's house.
there is the thing for me, and I don't even like get into the technical stuff in this film so much, is because the story is just so much to it. I can't get really
There's too
past
much.
that of it, right? There's just so much. And when he makes Midsummer, I mean, there's just there's layers and so much to his film. It's almost too much, quite frankly, for me. But it's just so detailed and depth, and it's open ended. It makes you wonder about things. There's no concrete answers for these things. Some of this stuff, I don't think. Again,
Yeah,
the
like you
breadcrumbs, the
can't just
trails follow.
disappear people, but
Right. Like, the markings of payment in the telephone pole, the book, the necklace, it's all
the
there.
triangle under the bed frame
And
from when
then
the
you
mother was
realize
living with them in hospice.
it's all set up. Like the deer in the road was put there probably on purpose. Like all that stuff. She probably ate that candy bar. Like all those things happen on purpose. All of them. Every single thing happened. And to realize some woman would do that to you and your family is kind of like unbelievable to think about it. That
Well, and her own family.
that's what I'm saying.
Like,
Like to anyone really, but to think about, and then but like she dies. She never even reaps the reward. Like you said, maybe she can be resurrected. I don't know, but
but I think they would have resurrected her if they could.
like I
I mean,
love
maybe
cult
not.
stuff. Like his films. I mean, Midsummer's a cult thing too. They both are, right?
Yeah,
So and
that's
like
true.
and I love Wicker Man. Like I love like British like cult stuff. It's one of my favorite genres. Really, it really is. Like the Blood on Satan's Claw is so good. Witchfinder General, and I love those movies. But yeah, this is wild. This movie is wild. Um, it's
Yeah.
one of the films where I'm done. I want more. I need to know much more now. What happens now? That's what I'm really I'm trying to figure out what's now. What's next? So
I have a question for you.
what's that?
Okay.
Yeah.
This is specifically for you.
Okay.
Do you think Ari Aster is what M. Night Shyamalan thinks that he is in his own mind or wants to be?
I'm sorry. Say again.
Do you think that Ari Aster is what M. Night Shyamalan wants to be and might be in his own mind in his
Oh,
movies?
do I think
That's what his goal is, and that's who he hopes he is to the rest of us, to the general
I
population.
I don't know the answer to that.
I think it is.
I
I
don't
think
know.
that's like how he pictures his
I,
movies hitting us.
does I mean Obviously, you're an artist. You want your work to have an impact, of course, no matter what medium it is. But like, is it like a jealousy thing almost? Maybe.
No, that's
No.
not what I mean.
Okay. Okay.
I think that's what he visualizes as he's directing. Like he visualizes this impact as
Mm.
he's directing, and for us, there's a huge gap between those two.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, we had the episode. I made my feelings on Shyamalan quite clear on what I believe of his movies.
I
So,
know.
but yeah, I don't know. The point with Shyamalan was technically, I mean, he's a great, you know, technical filmmaker. He's outstanding. He knows how to make
Yes,
movies.
agreed.
And for me, Ari Aster is just here's a cool idea. Let's add on 18,000 other things though. Like
It's the
I
depth
don't need all
is,
of these things. I don't need all of
I
these
mean,
things.
it's Mariana Trench
Yeah,
depth.
pretty much. Pretty much. Challenger
Like,
deep.
yeah, like literally, like if you kept watching this, I'm done watching this. This is my last watch of it.
I've seen
It's
it
my
twice.
second,
I
it's
think
my
I'm fine.
last.
I feel like if I kept
Yeah.
watching, I'd find more things. But yeah.
Yeah, you definitely would. I mean, we barely scratched the surface of this.
Well, that's what I said. We did our best to try to get because it isn't just a
Well,
cut
but
and
it's
dry film.
impossible. Like
Yeah.
it would drive someone mad to listen to us go into like every single thing that we
Yep.
noticed about
Yep.
this.
For sure.
Um, and yeah, I mean, but like we did like we got I think we got all the things
I
that were
think we
important.
I think we done good.
I do too. I do too.
So
But this is I think M. Night Shyamalan thinks he's this crafty.
okay. I mean,
Do you think?
maybe,
I
maybe,
think he does.
maybe.
Watching this last night, I was or 2 nights ago, I watched it again, and I was like,
Are they fans of each other's work? Probably.
I don't know.
They're peers, as they say in the biz, right? So I would.
They did not go to school together, but I don't know.
Uh, did did Shyamalan go to Tisch?
Yeah,
I love that school. I want to.
I know.
In another life, 25 years ago, that's where I wanted to go. Well, I would still go now, but
A bunch of my former students went there.
Eli Roth, Scorsese, it's like the best. Yeah. Sign me up, man. Sign me up. Anyway, so I've kind of exhausted my thoughts on this film. So if you want to, I'm just gonna sit here and take a nap, and you can finish the episode for us.
Well, of course, I have trivia, but the question that you always ask at the end of this is, what did you think?
So, Sarah, what did you think of Hereditary by Ari Aster? And I'll add on my ending. Yeah, you can do a two-part. If you liked this, you should watch what?
Oh, okay. I mean, the obvious answer would be Midsummer,
Yep.
but there's also a Jonestown movie in the works that I would say,
Oh, so if you want a Jonestown movie already, one of my other favorites, which is Ty West, made a film called The Sacrament, which is basically about Jonestown. It's awesome.
yes.
Go watch
So
that.
this is actually Jonestown. Oh my God, I wish I could remember who's playing Jim Jones. It is
I want
so
to see
spot
that.
on.
I want to see that.
But it's in the works.
All right, I'm ready.
Um,
Let's go.
so brace for it because I think it's gonna be really good.
Okay. I mean, that's
I
insane. I love The Sacrament. I thought it was excellent. So if you make it as good as that or better, let's go.
Yeah, I
Let's
it's somebody that's like
go.
so perfect to play him, and I cannot think of who it is. Um,
I would say watch this, and like I mentioned, watch Wicker Man. Watch any good cult film, really, right? And I think that's
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, yeah.
yeah.
Um, I like this movie. I really do like this movie. There's so much thought and intention. The more you watch it, the more Easter eggs you see. I think watching it a second time, knowing what the ending
I think
was,
you have to watch this film twice. I think you
I
have
think you
to.
do. I really think you do. But
Yeah.
I think you need a
It's
break
like those self-help
between.
books that you read or whatever that say, read this book now to get started, but come back to it every like 6 months kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like
I could
that's
see that.
I don't know about every 6 months to watch the film, but I think you need to watch it twice. I do.
Yeah, I do too. And I don't know. I watched it in like 2019.
Me too. Like but about maybe a year after it came out. Yeah.
Or maybe it might have been early 2020. It might have been like pandemic needing to be in the house. And I may have watched it when like my husband had a work project. I think that's what happened. So it was like early 2020.
Okay.
Um, But rewatching it, and now granted, I do have a very good memory. So keep that in mind as I say. But having a couple years between and rewatching it was like, I think had more of an impact. So I wouldn't like loop it, but I do think you have to watch it a second time. There's
I'm telling
just
you.
so much to absorb that's done in this movie that you miss. Like, I think the first watch through, you miss like 75% because you're trying to kind of diagnose the characters as you go. And you get kind of wrapped in the family dramatic
Hmm.
of it.
Yeah.
Um, and you're sort of like mystified by the minis, the miniatures.
Yeah.
And that's part of it too. And then you sort of like at least for me, I over empathized with the father. Um, and so then
I
I
just
just,
felt bad for him.
yeah, see, I have that role in my family, like my, like growing up family. I am that role.
I
Um,
hope that doesn't mean you're going to get burned alive next to a fireplace.
I mean, I hope not.
That
I
would be
don't live with them
that
anymore,
would be
so probably
unfortunate. You could be at their house. Who knows? Anyway,
they don't have a fireplace.
good. You're
We
safe.
do.
You're safe. You're safe. You're fine. You're fine.
Um, but yeah, I think I over empathized with the dad because I can't relate to the mom um, in a lot of ways.
So I will say this. Also, you mentioned M. Night Shyamalan. Toni Collette, great in this movie, but
Yes,
I think actually she's even better.
in
She's
The
even
Sixth
better.
Sense.
Oh my God. I made it clear Shyamalan is not for me, but Sixth Sense and Unbreakable are badass. And she's incredible in that. She is amazing in Sixth Sense. I love her in that movie. She is so good.
She's so
So good in that
fucking
movie.
good. She's
So good.
so good in both of these movies. I cannot say enough about her.
Hmm.
And after The Sixth Sense, she refused. I don't know if you know this, and I think it's in my trivia so I'm jumping in this, but I'm whatever. I'm probably gonna fuck it up and say it wrong, but I'm saying it. So she didn't want to do horror movies anymore after The
Yeah, I've
Sixth
heard
Sense.
that.
She didn't want to be typecast.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I really respect that because, I mean, and she played that character as Philadelphia so well,
So
like
good. It was
knowing
she
Philadelphia the
was
way
the
that,
amazing, like broken down single mom whose life was a disaster. Like it was just perfect. She was so good.
and
Yeah.
everything about her was Philadelphia. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
cannot stress this enough. Having grown up outside of Philadelphia, not quite, but halfway between DC and Philadelphia. So Philadelphia was like one of our cities. Um, she is so much like she just embodies it. Like you can feel it. She's such a good actress. I
Philly is one of those cities where you are like you represent that. Like you know people like a good person from Boston. Like you know
yes.
they're from Philly, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yes, you definitely do.
Yeah.
Um, yes. And yeah, she nailed it. I mean, yeah, unfortunately for me, M. Night Shyamalan continues to get a little bit of grace from me because I have the standard of The Sixth Sense. And so then I keep thinking, maybe we'll get back there. Maybe we'll get back there. Maybe he's not just trying to
Maybe
build an
not.
entire movie about to launch his daughter's singing career. Maybe he's
Okay.
not trying to do that. Maybe, that Josh Hartnett did do really well in Trapped. I watched that on the
I
plane.
heard that
I
movie. I
watch
didn't.
bad
Yeah.
movies to watch on airplanes, I realized recently.
Hey, Josh Hartnett, Halloween H2O. Let's go.
Yes, yeah, he's another one who like was very particular about the roles he played after he became a heartthrob in Pearl Harbor.
Right. Terrible movie.
Um, I love actors like that like decide I'm not going to be typecast. I'm going to either step away or I'm taking crazy roles. Like Daniel Radcliffe and Elijah Wood are also like that.
I like Elijah Wood.
Anyway, I digress. I think this
Trivia.
movie is
What you got?
definitely worth a watch, and you should watch it twice with a break between. Okay, so one way that Ari Aster pitched this film, so we're diving into my trivia,
Okay.
when he was first taking it out was it's a story about a long-lived possession told from the perspective of the sacrificial lamb.
Okay.
And I could not agree with that more
I
because
like
it's
that.
really told in a way from Peter's perspective and from all of them. Like they're all, cogs in this machine. He also wrote detailed biographies and backstories for all of the characters before even writing the screenplay.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this dude already had the movie done. It was already cut, edited. He had probably won an Oscar at the awards in his head by this point. But yeah, it was all done. It was all done.
It he dove in. He also requested that Alex Wolff, Peter, and
Hmm.
Millie
Hmm.
Shapiro, Charlie, would go out to eat multiple times in character, and they would sit there for 3 hours in silence while Millie wouldn't speak, and Alex would try to get her to talk so that they would understand how to interact on screen. I just imagine this happening at Ponderosa for some reason.
Ponderosa. Wow. Okay.
Deep cut. But
Ponderosa. There you go.
don't you just imagine that
I
that's where
mean,
you would take Millie to eat as Charlie?
why not? Nothing wrong with Ponderosa, right? Good old, like a good old steakhouse. Come on now, right?
For those of you who don't know, it was a steakhouse, but it was like a buffet
It
that
sure
had like a
was.
massive ice cream bar
How about that?
and
That's
no
that's
alcohol.
that's where it's at right there. That's where it's at, people.
So they also went out in character to buy that classic sweatshirt, that like
The
oversized
orange.
sweatshirt that she
Yeah.
wears throughout. She doesn't change out of this sweatshirt, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So they had to go out in character to buy it. So like he had to take his little quote unquote little sister shopping for this sweatshirt. Um, and so do you know that almost all of the effects for this were done practically and not in post?
I love to hear that. That's amazing. Even burning people alive, right?
Yep. They had
That's
to. Okay.
yeah.
So in that scene, and I don't
That's
know if this is in
awesome.
my trivia, I have so much trivia. You guys were going to skip some of it. But in that scene, they had to literally fireproof that whole house because the only
Isn't
thing
that
that goes
wild?
up is the
Yeah.
dad. So they
Yeah.
had to like completely before that scene cover the entire house in
They but
fireproof
they did it. And
thing.
that's amazing.
It's
Yeah.
incredible. I love that stuff. I know you do too. Like when you are actually, you're not doing like you're using movie magic in the way that movie magic should be used,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. No,
Um,
I talk about all the time with Bram Stoker's Dracula. Yes. I mean, that's practical stuff is the best. It's amazing.
yeah. Yeah. And so Gabriel Byrne, the dad, and
Yeah.
Alex Wolff had worked together actually as father and son in another show. I
I
forget what it
heard about
was.
this. I heard about this. Yeah.
I think it was on HBO or something. And then Alex and Millie went to school together.
How about that?
So this naturally made Toni Collette the outsider, which mirrored Annie's character
That's
feeling
good.
alienated from her family. I love
That's
that
good.
too, because that's like practical.
Perfect.
Um,
Perfect. Yeah.
yeah.
I love it.
Um, okay, skipping this one. So much trivia. He wanted scares, Ari Aster wanted scares that were emotionally justified rather than the traditional
Yep.
horror jump scares,
Yeah.
which
That's
even
good.
in the decapitation scene, I see that.
There's a couple quick jump, like when he grabs her head from behind the bed, but like but it's not.
Oh yeah,
It's not.
we didn't even address that
It's
part.
it's just it's scary things happening in people's lives. That's scary. I don't need Jason Voorhees for that. I don't need that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, speaking of,
Jason Voorhees. Okay.
um, I do have trivia about him. Hold on. In actually, no, I don't, but I have Halloween trivia.
Okay.
So Michael Myers.
All right. I love Michael
In
Myers.
in Peter's first scene at the school, the
Hey.
words I know, I loved that you wore this. It was so appropriate.
Okay. Good. Let's go.
In Peter's first scene at the school, the words escaping fate are on the chalkboard with the teacher discussing it. And that's a
Yeah. Yeah.
reference to Halloween,
Yeah.
the
When they're
78
sitting
Halloween.
there, fate is inescapable. You can't get away from fate. The teacher, when she's talking, Jamie Lee Curtis, in the shot is slowly panning into her, and then she looks out the window, and the station wagon he stole was sitting across the street. Yeah, I love
Yep.
that scene. Yep, I love her voice. Yeah, fate is something immovable like an object. You can't escape fate. Uh huh. I've never seen
I knew
Halloween,
you
so I
would
have no
love that.
idea.
I knew you would love that fact.
Yeah, I've never seen Halloween, but
So apparently, Hereditary is equally inspired by these following family dramas.
okay.
Ordinary People from 1980. Have you seen it?
I have not.
Me neither. The Ice Storm from 97.
Yeah, a long time ago. Toby Maguire.
I haven't seen it. In the Bedroom from 2001.
Aware of it, not seen it.
Okay. And classic horror films, Rosemary's Baby.
Love it. Yeah, at the end, hell, he has his father's eyes.
Don't Look Now from 1973.
Oh yeah.
And The Innocents from 1961.
Don't know the innocence, but rest of them, yes. Right on.
Do you
Right
see
on.
how those would be
Huh?
like part of the
Oh well,
inspiration?
no, I mean for sure, and I mean, Rosemary's Baby. I mean, I think we mentioned that. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's the talk about the devil here, so yeah,
Yeah.
heck yeah. I love it.
So apparently, the composer for this, which we talked about how the audio was like a huge part of
Mhm.
this movie,
Oh yeah.
Colin Stetson, found inspiration for the score from sounds of water and animals walking around in the middle of a pitch black night.
Yeah, there's weird things people come used to come up with this stuff. It's interesting for sure.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So Stephen Newborn was the one who was contracted to do makeup and the
Okay.
effects.
Okay.
And when he saw the miniatures, he realized he had the capability of doing that. So he was like, hey, can I do this?
That would be
So he's
amazing.
the one who did the miniatures too.
Wow. Yeah, they add a pretty cool stuff to that story.
They really did. There's just
Yeah.
so many dimensions to this.
Yeah.
And like, what a niche to be like a miniature artist.
I
Like,
mean,
that's,
really, right? Yeah, it's amazing.
yeah.
Very cool.
Um, so I will pare this down, I promise. But I thought this was like insane.
Okay.
The decapitation of Charlie is actually based on a real life event in Marietta, Georgia in 2004.
My Retta,
So I like how you said it like that.
people, that's how people say it. Yeah.
Really? I dated a guy from Marietta, Georgia, and he said Marietta.
I thought the whole joke of it was that they call it my Retta. So anyway,
Oh, I wonder if he adapted.
my Retta.
Um, so a young man and his friend drove home very drunk after a party. The guy in the passenger seat
Great
felt
idea.
sick.
Yep.
Yes, great idea. Always good.
Yep.
Always drive after you've been drinking. You
Yep.
know, I did no, Uber didn't exist at this point, but like spend the night. Like spend the
Nope.
night. You don't have to brush your teeth
When
tonight
you're
or
in high
wash your
school,
face.
you're in high school, you're invincible.
Or college. Like no, I always spent the night. Or my brother would call and have me pick him up but he never would drive and I just spent the night.
Responsible person. That's good.
I had a toothbrush a travel toothbrush in my
Look
purse.
at you with the toothbrush.
Dental hygiene is
I
important.
see. Oral hygiene is very important in life. Yes. Floss. Remember to floss, people. Get out there. Rinse. You know. Yeah.
God, I floss every day.
You
So
should.
so apparently he stuck his head out the window and the driver accidentally swerved near a pole and he literally the wire that goes from the pole to the ground, you know how they
Mhm.
stake it,
Yep. Yep.
decapitated him.
That's
And
awful.
he was so drunk he didn't realize it happened and he drove home and parked in the parents' driveway and left his friend in the car and went to bed.
So this actually has happened. Okay. So wow. All right.
Which I think is an important thing to mention.
Woo! I'm glad I
That
don't. I'm glad
literally
I'm
did
not.
happen.
Glad I don't know any of those people, and that never happened to me in my life. My God.
I mean, there's a lot in that to unpack. Sorry to be the downer. We'll pick it back up.
Oh,
So Ari Aster has a cameo. Did you know?
I didn't. I think I heard, but where? I don't know what it is. Where is he?
So you know when like stuff starts to hit the fan and like everything gets really quiet in the house and she's already destroyed the miniatures and
Mm,
stuff. And I want to say Steve died and Peter is still in bed. Um, the phone call that Annie gets about the exhibit at the Archer Gallery
Oh,
is
is that
Ari
him?
Aster.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, yeah, it leaves the message.
Yeah.
That's him. Okay. Okay. Cool. I like that. That's good.
Yeah. He's like, "Hey, just wanted to check in, we're about at 6 months
That's
before it's
cool.
due." And
That's cool.
yeah, so I thought that was really cool too.
That's good.
And the film was shot in 32 days and 12 hours.
Okay. Pretty quick.
That's pretty quick. I
Yeah.
like how they
It's very
specified 12
quick.
hours,
Well, knowing him, he's
not
pretty
18.
meticulous, so I'm not surprised by that. That's good. 32 days. Okay. I'm gonna try to find some making of stuff. I actually have the Blu-ray of this, so I might try to watch the special features. So if you guys want, you can go to my website, hilltopvideos.com. And I wrote an article about this movie years ago after I watched it for the first time. And I don't know, I summed it up as best I could, essentially what we just did here in the last hour
I
anyway.
mean, it's hard to sum up.
It is, and this is, it goes on and on and on. Like I said, we suggest you watch it once or twice, probably, if not more. If you really like it that much, go for it. It's very deep. It's not, blood and guts, and I mean, it is some, but this is not Friday the 13th slasher film. This is not a monster movie. This is like a thinking person's film in a way, and I know that I'm a fan of it. I like it a lot. I think it really is good. But will I watch it a lot more? I mean, I'll probably pop it in another, some at some point. But I've watched it my two times. I think I'm good for now with it. So, final thoughts on this film?
I think I'm in the same boat. I think I'm good. I've
Okay.
watched it the appropriate amount of times.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll watch it on an airplane to terrorize the people around me at some point, which
that would be interesting. Yeah.
apparently is what I do.
Okay. I'm sure they love you for that on FYI to travelers coming up.
Oh
So
God. Yeah, there was one I watched recently. I had to turn the screen toward Philippe so that other people wouldn't have to be subjected to it.
I definitely watched In Search of Darkness 1990 through 94 on my trip to LA last year. And, it's just 4 hours of horror films. And it's sitting on my laptop. And I'm just like, I really don't even care. There's some guy, I really don't care. I have my headphones on. I'm not going to bother you. If you don't want to watch it, read something. Not, dude, I don't care. So, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to look at my computer
Nope.
screen.
Nope. If you want to watch it, awesome, dude. Great. I'd love, yeah. It's a great 4 hour
You
documentary,
can pair
but
your headphones with my machine.
that's it. And we'll watch In Search of Darkness and it'll be great. And we'll have a great story. And I can have you come on for an episode where we can talk about it. Anyway, but so if people want to know more, I mean, we love having you on, but tell everyone, as always, in case they, for some reason, this is the first time they're listening to you on this show, where do they learn more about you and your trivia and hear stories about your movies you watch on airplanes?
Um, there's not really a good place for this episode. Usually I can
Uh,
like choose a place to find me.
okay. Okay.
I would say if you are interested in weddings, come on over to the Wedding Dish podcast.
Yeah.
That's probably a good spot. But if you're listening to this, you might very much not be interested in
So
weddings, and that's
this
okay.
movie is the exact opposite because it has funerals.
Hmm.
So yeah.
True, touche.
Huh.
The two events that really bring together families and
Yes, and
people
in very, very different ways.
in very different
So,
ways.
okay, great. That's where you'll go for that. So, if you guys want to talk about more of deep dives into Ari Aster and Hereditary, I'm up for that. You can email me at thescarymovieproject@gmail.com. You can visit my website, thescarymovieproject.com. Lots of cool our episodes and everything are there. If you want to look at all the cool posts and the stories and photos I share, do it on Instagram at the Scary Movie Project. Facebook, I cascade my posts into there. So that's where I live. That's where you'll find me. And you know what, Sarah, thank you for coming on. And again, we could have talked for many hours about this film. It takes a minute, but hopefully we were able to give you guys enough of it here to get you to watch it and think deeply about it. It's a more cerebral horror film than maybe we normally do. So,
Yeah.
but remember, until next time, when pizza's on a bagel, you can eat pizza anytime.
The Scary Movie Project podcast. Learn more at thescarymovieproject.com.